Hall of Fame. So if given the choice, would I want the most hits or the Hall of Fame? I'd take the most hits because that's something they can't take away from you. Yep. And I know he did wrong and everything like that, but see, it's just a matter of opinion, and it's just a bunch of suits, picking a guy, and it was Coco's turn. Now, if they ever run out of people to pick, I'm sure they'll start looking down the list. And if I become fashionable that moment, I would definitely go. You know, there's two names that belong in the Hall of Fame, and above all else, and that would be, of course, Bruno Sammartino and Macho Man Randy Savage.
Exactly. Exactly.
But the thing is, they asked Bruno, and he refused, right. and nobody ever asked Randy. And I'll tell you, this is the way I feel about it. They're not hurting Randy, and they're not hurting WWE. The only people they're spitting on is the fans.
Yep. Yeah, it's a true travesty. I mean, seriously, if the WWE is all for the fans, then they have to hear the clamoring the fans are making for Macho Man to get into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, well, look at the DVD. They didn't even advertise it, and it's breaking all records. That should give you some indication of the popularity of the man.
And, I'm going to go for a stretch, but did they ask him to appear on it?
Oh, I would, like I say, I wouldn't know about that. As far as I know, they just put it together and did that, but I see that it's breaking all records, that it's the number one thing they've ever produced. Right. Of course, time will tell if it breaks all records, but it's definitely a hit. And with today's economy, hits are fewer and further between.
Right. Case in point, 12 rounds.
What's that?
I said case in point, the movie 12 Rounds.
12 rounds? I'm sorry. Was that not a hit?
That would be a no.
Okay, well, I've never heard of it, so that might be... On the other hand, I've heard of Harry Potter.
We were discussing that earlier. People got on me because I admitted I'm a Harry Potter fan. So, how about we not go there? I don't want to get back.
Okay, let's not.
All right. Now, I had a question before the whole Harry Potter thing just threw me off. Oh, jeez. Focus. Well, I've got one relating to your. We've got a lot of indie wrestlers that come on our show from time to time, and people who listen that are in the promotion. And I know you preach to the kids about the drugs and alcohol, but we've seen some WWE releases, due to rehab and whatnot lately, not wanting to go to rehab. But what's your feelings on steroids in professional wrestling? Because as we know, it's not, we've moved from it's solely a sport to sports entertainment. What are your thoughts and feelings on steroids in professional wrestling? Hello? I don't know if our callers are on. It seems to be that they are off. Let me see if we can put them back on. Shane and Lanny, are you there?
You're right back. Thanks, Larry.
No problem.
Are you cooking tonight, or is it?
Right.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right, let's try that again. Shane?
Yes.
I don't know what happened. I was in a deep discussion there, but apparently it was just me. Are you there? Has Lanny left the building? Lanny, are you there? All right, let me try to get Lanny again. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I was in a deep discussion on steroids, and after my long-winded question. Maybe he fell asleep. I'm not sure.
Darius.
Yes.
Okay, Lanny? Lanny, are you there? Oh, God, please bear with us.
Well, someone is cooking. I don't know who I put on the line while you're absent. Somebody's talking about getting some grub. I'm kind of hungry myself.
You heard that, right? Okay. Let me get him back on the line because all I heard was food, and I got hungry too.
Oh, I've got a Swiss Debbie cakes over at my house. So, if, any of the listeners, want to bring me some cakes and cook me a steak or something, I'm all for it. But yeah, maybe steroid. Yes.
Okay, Lanny.
Yes.
Lanny. Okay, good. All right, Darius, go back into your question. Sorry about that.
All right. Yeah, I was in the middle of a rant, as I usually do, and it was long before it was over before I even noticed I was talking to myself. But what I was asking was, you preach to, go around to the kids and tell them to stay away from drugs and alcohol and whatnot. We've got a lot of indie wrestlers that call in addition to those like yourself who have been to the big time. But I was wondering your feelings on professional wrestling and steroids. We know that Vince has moved it from a sport to sports entertainment, so that competition value is not necessarily there that we see in football and baseball and basketball and whatnot. But what is your feelings and thoughts of steroids in professional wrestling?
Okay, well, I avoided steroids my whole life. And then 1989 came, and I was going to be the Genius. And they gave me a few months off. And during that time, I started taking a drug called decadurabolin. Have you heard of that drug?
I have not.
Couldn't say I have.
It's a steroid that you inject into your butt, and intramuscular, not intravenous. And it's known as the cleanest of the steroids. It was then. Of course, that's an oxymoron, a clean steroid. So I'll tell you what, though, it works. I mean, I lost body fat, I gained muscle, and I started getting more results from my workouts. And then when I went into the dressing room as the Genius, I took my clothes off. Everybody said, "What the hell happened to you?" And, of course, everybody knew what I had done. But I had transformed my body from, of course, let's face it, I didn't look like one of the Road Warriors or the Hawk and Animal or the Powers of Pain. Who are those other guys, Barbarian and Warlord? I wasn't in that category. But the difference between Leaping Lanny and the Genius was quite a difference. And then I continued taking shots of decadurabolin, and then right after my match, October 31st, 1989, with Hulk Hogan, I had a good talk to myself, and I said, "Self, you've reached the pinnacle, you've reached the zenith, it can't get better than this. Now you've put wealth over health, which is stupid, and I think it's time to pull the needle out." And I promise you, as soon as I pulled the needle out, within 2 months, most of my muscle had gone. And then it took a while before my natural testosterone took over. And, one of the things that happened was my libido dropped. Of course, that's your sex drive. And, of course, since I was married at the time, it made absolutely no difference.
Man.
All right, so it didn't even last a year. Is that what you're saying?
What, the steroids?
Yeah, the steroids, not your sex life or your marriage.
I would say I took them from March till October, and I got tremendous benefits from it, but the benefits were temporary, and I also got a few side effects, and those were temporary.